Before we go for the letters, I just want your comment briefly on the issue of JAM. Exams are set 6:30 a.m. in the morning on godly hours. Now, somebody has, if you know Abuja very well, somebody that stays in Garki is expected to go to Orozo to write an exam at 6:30 a.m. That child is expected to leave home at 4:35 to arrive the exam 1 hour before 6:30. How reasonable is this? And JAM policy says parents and guardians should not accompany the children. That the JAM register will say when he was a student at 16, he traveled from Ilorin to Ogun State alone.
But he said they should not write JAM at 16. So when he said he went to
at 15,
Ilorin at 15 or this thing, what is he saying? Because I wrote JAM at 15, and as at the time there were only 2 JAM centers, 3 JAM centers in Benue State, in Katsina, in Makurdi and Otukpo. I had to go to Katsina. That was my first time.
But did you travel at 5 a.m.?
I went there early. I think as early as 7 I had to even sleep in that town, knowing nobody, and all of that. But considering the security situation that we have now, I think the authorities of JAM, this is already it's been set, is rolling. Perhaps the next exam, which will be next year or so, they can consider that.
I visited more than 15 JAM centers on Saturday alone, and I can tell you from the guideline issued by JAM, I went to observe the exam, and I can tell you from the guideline issued by JAM, parents are not barred from accompanying their children or wards. They are not allowed within the premises of the examination hall. They can stay outside. That did not stop them from taking their children to the exam center, and they stay far away. Because in the past, from their own explanation, some parents stay inside the premises and they want to influence what is happening in the examination hall. And as a way of stopping it is that food vendors, parents, friends must stay far away from where the candidates are writing the exam. And I can tell you, in each of the center I visited on Saturday, a lot of vehicles were parked outside by parents who took their children, who took their wards to the examination hall early enough for them to enable capture. They do not start writing exam by 6:30. They start capturing them first before they write the exam.
Well, I don't think that is quite insensitive of JAM, regardless of what we think it is. It's quite insensitive, because considering the security situation of the country, considering what is going on, even within cities, and you set exams for 6:30. I don't care, even if they start 8 o'clock or whatever, but they must get to the premises by 6:30. I think it's very insensitive, and I think they should do something about it. Because what if this lady was gone forever? What would you tell the parents? That you ask the child to come and to resume at examination center at 6:30?
When JAM was doing paper and pencil, JAM was written just in 1 day. Now they are doing computer-based tests. It's pressed within 10 days. So why that early morning exam?
Exactly.
Abulu, I as somebody who taught in a secondary school several years ago, I can tell you that examination malpractices come in different shapes and sizes. We've seen impersonation, we've seen all kinds of things. People write on their skin. People keep what they call tablets. All kinds of examination malpractices. And I think that JAM got to this point. They evolved given the kind of challenges they faced concerning examination malpractices. However, given the security situation in Nigeria, given the fact that things are not the way they used to be when Professor Loyede was writing JAM, and when people like Bayo Bodunrin will be talking about writing that kind of JAM, we need to do a review very quickly. Let me also say that there have been complaints from some people that some candidates were posted outside their town of normal residence, or even very far from their place of residence to write these exams. We need to. JAM needs to do a review.
Our takeaway is that JAM should review the timing for the exams. JAM should look for that young lady in Lagos who missed her exam because she went missing, and said, because JAM, I commend them. Last year they started a new initiative. Those that missed their exam, or they set up a re-exam for them, and I want them to look at these takeaways and see how they can put it. And also, I want to make a special request to JAM. Let there be first aid at these centers. Last year, I monitored the JAM and a boy was fainting in exam hall and there was no first aid around. That is also something the JAM register can consider. We commend you for your effort so far. Let's hear from you. And before we go into the gale of defection, is Kunle Adewale defecting or is Bayo Bodrin defecting? Let's hear from you.
Good morning and welcome to the news segment.